I have been muted this whole time. Oh my Jesus. Sorry, you guys. Well, good morning. As you guys can see on the screen, this is where we are as far as the profit and loss goes. Well, really, the losses go. The the last account is being doubled because it renews tomorrow. Oh, that sucks. Look at that. Stop me out to the tick. That is trash. But anyway, all right. So on this next trade, if it loses, that second account is out of there, which it has survived for the last 3 weeks. So that lets me know I'm closer to where I want to get strategy wise. That sucks. That sucks big time. But anyway, so what I was saying while I was muted is that this last account is being doubled. It renews tomorrow. It's got like 800 drawdown left. So that's that. And then I did do some back testing yesterday. First of all, my ATM settings were not right, and I don't know what happened to them. But those settings got kind of screwed up some way somehow, and that's how, and I wouldn't have really paid attention to it until I was stopped out by the tick yesterday. And I've been losing, I've been losing, but for whatever reason I never looked, and even while I'm in the trade, I never looked at the fact that my stop loss wasn't where it was supposed to be. So that's that. I mean, the tech issue yesterday, of course, that was completely out of my control, being in a trade that I'm not actually in and then flattening and somehow getting into an opposite trade. I still don't understand how that happened. But yeah, so I did some back testing, and one of the things that I discovered was, I don't know if you guys remember from yesterday, but I definitely mentioned the fact that there's one particular setup that I cannot trade after 10 o'clock. And I was like, man, this is really weird because typically after 10 o'clock, that's some of my best setups. So I'm confused, like, what the heck is going on? Well, when I went back through the backtest data, it is one of my, better hours of the day. However, instead of me only stopping, I don't trade one of my setups after 10. I'm not supposed to trade like four of them. So those particular four have like a 50% win rate between 10 and 11. The rest of them have like an 85% win rate between 10 and 11. How did I not realize that? I don't know. Don't ask me. Sometimes this is not going to hold. Sometimes you have to look at the same data over and over and over and over, and you'll still discover new things about the same freaking data. And that's what I did yesterday. There was a couple of things that I realized, and I think the hardest part, or most annoying part about backtesting, is especially when you're like backtesting in an active week. You see, that's not, oh, that's why. Open. That actually should have stopped out, but the volume push down was so much, like, that's not actually where my entry was supposed to be. It was supposed to be at 16. So I would have got stopped out to the tick again, which is fairly annoying. But I don't move the stop when I see that happen. What else is right there? Oh, yesterday's low. Okay. Um so yeah, the hardest part about backtesting in an active week is when you start to realize that, oh my God, like when you go back through this week's data with the new information, and it's like, so you mean to tell me I'm down 350 for the week when I'm supposed to be up 1900? That is the absolute worst part to me. That's the worst part. But you either win or you learn. And once you learn, you can earn. That is my motto. We have some more low impact news coming in 14 minutes. All right, so if we can end positive again today, despite the trash start, that would be nice. I don't think I missed any trades today. I don't think, but sometimes I don't know until I start to write everything in my trade journal and I'm like, why didn't I take that trade? Why didn't I take that trade? That's how I get 1083. Need a little bit more. That was the exact same volume. That's crazy. I didn't really feel comfortable getting into that trade because the volume was the exact same, which I do not see very often. Is that that is the first support level, so we're getting back inside. All right. Can we hold? Good morning, Trenches. How are you this morning? How is your trading session going so far? Trying to get back positive. I had to do a lot of back testing yesterday, but it was worth it. I was so frustrated yesterday. I got off, played my game, I was supposed to run errands and everything. I said, I need my stress reliever at the moment. And that's what I did. Looking for a buy continuation around 1950. We'll see. So pull back to my middle level. Mm. See, now that's too. Oh, that's because my entry is incorrect. I'm like, that's not where my stop loss is supposed to be. Are you gonna do that to me? Got 15 seconds and then. I couldn't get past my minor level, which isn't uncommon sometimes. How much is left? All right, I still got 224 in the second account. You're looking to scalp a short if MQ can't hold 165. I like the rejection it's having at 540, but I'm hands off right now. One 165 or 465. It's too much of a push off of my middle level for me to get back into a buy, and then I'm not looking for sales just yet. My overall bias is still a uptrend, and it's been that way since like pretty much the market open. It started in a downtrend bias and it switched about 8:35, I think. So 5 minutes in. $1,037. would definitely need a much bigger stall right here in order for me to get into a sell at 5 even. All right. Now it looks like we might start playing around the VWAP. I'm in an overall uptrend bias until like 77.25. Once we get down here, it'll change. Excuse me. All right, so my levels are out of order as of here. So I'm interested to see if we start consolidating to push down or to continue up. Natural gas is coming out in a minute and a half. So I won't be taking any trades until a minute after 9:30. Because as much as people stay away from light impact news, if you're a scalper, it can still affect you. And here's the region between all of my levels. So I want to see if we pushed out to come back in to consolidate or if we're actually gonna get some stuff going. I have no idea what that particular alarm is. I don't use alarm 1 on anything in NinjaTrader because it's such a blaring alarm, but it goes off a couple of times a day and I have no idea what it is at all. Okay, are we gonna push out? Got like 30 seconds and then I could start entering again. I need to run errands, but I'll probably take a nap first. I went to bed at my normal time, but for whatever reason, I'm just extremely tired today. Is that? Yeah, it is. 1080. Pushed out and came right back in. Now we hit the VWAP again. Definitely not looking at sales at all. My minor trend is showing sell, but again, all my levels are out of order, so it's not a valid trend right now. At all. And we're back in. Right in the middle of this zone is my minor level, and then my mid is at the top and my major is at the bottom. The major is like right in front of the VWAP, but I always count the VWAP as well, especially when it's the middle level. Jeez. Oh, no, it's not what I want to do. If it pushes up from here, I'll get into a 1 bar pullback at 2250. Otherwise, I'll be waiting a little longer. All right, so I pulled back too far in, so I'm not going to get into buys yet. If it would have stayed like out here at the mid level, I would have gotten in for a buy, but we pulled back too far. I'm exhausted. Jesus. So I should really only be down 123, like $80. Okay. So it won that one time, but lost a few times. 1, 2, yeah. Now today's 3. This is a major level of, what is this? That's support. So it's a certain zone between 522 and 740. And it's like it wants to get back in that zone, but then keeps rejecting off of the entry, I guess you could say, entry level. And then just keeps coming back to this zone that I drew. So if I wanted, I could really extend it up like that. Because that's what it keeps bouncing between. And I mean, it literally makes the most perfect consolidation zone. And I called it back here when it was slightly outside of it. What I might do after 10 o'clock is probably put like 4 contracts on each trade on the last account, because it's got like 1,000 in drawdown left to either get back to 2,500 drawdown, or just blow the account so that it's fresh tomorrow for free. So we'll see. We've been stuck in this same zone since I drew it at 9:26. It got back into the zone at 9:27. So about 13 minutes we've just been going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Got a double bottom here, and it's trying to create a double top right after. That's the other thing. If you see double bottom, double top in succession constantly, which happens a lot, usually confirms the consolidation. And some people like trading ranges. I'm not one of them at all. Especially since I trade at the close of a reversal bar. So I would be too deep into the range for it to even make sense for me personally. But I know some people love range days. I'm not bothered by range days because most of the time I don't get caught up in the consolidation. Check my messages. All right, we're still in the same zone. I don't know what I changed a couple of days ago, but I have legit had back pain for the last, well, I have chronic back pain, but the back pain that I've been experiencing for the last 2 months, probably, let's see, almost 3 months actually, has been like pain I've never had to deal with ever in life. Like, I got to the point where I was having to take ibuprofen quite consistently. And normally, if I'm in pain, I don't really take pain medicine because I have a pretty high pain tolerance, I guess you could say, just from having chronic pain. Only time I really take pain medicine is if I have a headache that's making me nauseous because now you're affecting how I feel for real. I could take a headache, I'll go to sleep or something. It doesn't matter. But that back pain was crazy. And usually I could take 200 milligrams of ibuprofen and I'm fine with whatever pain that I have. But I had to take like 800 a couple of times and I was like, yeah, something's wrong. I don't know what I did the last like probably 3 days or so. This is either my third or my fourth day in a row having no pain. And I'm excited about it because that back pain really messes up your quality of life. You can't walk correctly, you can't sleep correctly. Like, it's, man, that was rough. I'm still going to go to the doctor because I need to find out what the hell. Like, I don't know if I messed something up in my lower spine because my friend bought me an inversion table and my spine is already not straight. So I don't know if that messed it up or what, but that was some pain I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. But I went through it. So whatever I was doing the last couple of days, hopefully that can continue because I do not ever want to deal with that kind of back pain ever again. Okay, we just finally got above that major support level. We did make a higher low right there. See if we end up staying inside of there or not. And why is my chart margin it's on 200? Oh, not 3,000. All right, let's try 300. All right, so do we want to stay out of the zone, or are you gonna come back in? What you gonna do? $9.46. There was a okay. Um, oh, you know what? My levels are now in order as of here. I didn't even realize that. So that's kind of where the consolidation is probably going to stop being. So I'm actually going to get rid of that. And I guess I could keep the line on there. Never know when you might need it. Oh yeah, I like that way better. The 300 on the chart margin. That was quite a long time of consolidation. 18 minutes. That's a lot, especially since we're not in the holiday season anymore. I haven't taken a trade since 9/21. Which is unusual. But that just means that I avoided all the chop. Let me make sure. Nope, was that pull back too far? Alright, so we have officially broken out. I guess I would have been safe there. Would have broken even. Yeah, definitely at 10 o'clock. I'm put more contracts on that last account. I'll probably do, let me see, I'm missing 1,500. So instead of me purposely blowing accounts now, since I actually like my strategy where it is, on the day that I need to blow or get back to at least the trailing, get the trailing back to 2,500 or 1,500, depending on which account it is. What I do is I just take how much I'm missing from the thresholds, and I'll typically divide it in two instead of just like putting it all on one trade, and just kind of going from there. So missing, let's see. What? I'm so slow. 10, 17, 15. What am I doing? 10, 17, 15. All right, so I'm missing like 1,400, it looks like. 946. I needed to pull back a little bit more. All right, and then so if I divide it by 2, that's 741. All right, to pull back enough. And then divided by 123.98. Why did I just... So basically like 6 contracts. That is a lot. I don't know how people actually trade that way. Even if you're trading evals just to pass them, that is... How do you deal with that? I put 9 contracts on a trade last week when I was trying to blow or get this one back to the initial threshold. And I was just like, these numbers are outrageous. Why do people trade this way? And I pushed up too quick. It's 695, I think, yeah. That trade is gone. Or did I say 6 contracts? Maybe I'm gonna actually, I think I'm gonna divide it in 3. $14, $82, $85. That's what I'm missing. Let's divide by 3, $4.94. So that's 4 contracts. All right, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let's do 4 contracts on this account to either get it back to 2,500 or bomb it for the free renewal tomorrow. Because 6 is a little outrageous. Even though I'm only doing it for a certain reason. I don't think I want 6 contracts on my trade. But I might. Because at some point you have to get used to big numbers. Especially if you plan to be successful. Which I do. And I'm on my way. I really hate how the drawings don't translate over properly. So my trailing threshold right now, on the second account is 224. The trailing drawdown that's left is 224. Then the second and third accounts are 420. Which, how is that? Because, oh yeah, that's right. If this one blows, I'm cool with it. But I really want to be able to save these two since their renewals are further out. But honestly, even if the third one blows, that's fine too. It renews in like 10 days. No, they're not out of order again. Hope you gotta keep going. I can't get into any trades for the next 2 minutes anyway. Alright, so let me change the trade copier. And we'll go for... But yesterday there weren't a lot of setups after 10 o'clock that were valid, I don't think. Maybe I will go 6. What is that damn noise? I have to figure that out. That's driving me insane. Alright, yeah, we're gonna go 6. It's gotta go or blow today. And I want to do it before I get off the stream. Actually, yeah, I'll do it that way. It's whatever. What was I about to do? I forgot. Dang, I forgot what I was about to do. That's crazy. All right, so one thing I have to keep in my head today is which setups I can no longer trade after 10. Since it's no longer just one setup, it's 4. Well, technically, there's 3 grouped into one, so... But yeah. 1, 2, 3. What I really want to do, no, I guess I'll still do it on stream. The only reason I kind of don't want to do this whole thing with this last account just yet is because it kind of throws off my real numbers for the session doing that, because typically I do it after I'm done with my session so I can look at the real numbers first. But if that's the case, I could have just kept this, single contracts the whole time and then. But I was just hoping that we had a good day today so that it didn't really matter. But I guess that was my fault. Uh-oh. Just trying to push past the previous close. I'm just hoping it doesn't get stuck here and push back down. So I typically use the previous close as a resistance level. That's why it's red. And the open as a support level. That's why it's green. That's the current open up there. It keeps rejecting off of it. Yeah, I don't know how people trade with this many contracts. I don't even like seeing the number. Even if it was positive, I still didn't like seeing the number. When I tried to purposely blow the other account last week, I was like, why are the numbers so big? Oh, I want to see open. Okay, yes, that is correct. Yeah, if it rejects here, that's my fault. So I don't normally get in going back. Like, I don't mind taking buys at the level, but going back towards the level, I don't typically do. All right, so that account has. Oh, I don't need to do that then. Oh, wait, no, yes, I do. All right. Yeah. I'll keep that like that. And then the second account looks like it's gonna blow in the next trade as well, which is cool. That one renews on Tuesday. The only thing that sucks when I blow the accounts like that is I can't trade them for another week, which is fine. I'm still getting things where I want it to be, so. It's hot. Good morning. Thank you for coming by, Rand. I just have a whole bunch of contracts on this account right here because it needs to go. And I don't feel like staying on the charts longer than my session today, so just decided to see what happens while we're still in the session. I want to look at it's usually the oh wait, let me go here. Excuse me. So yeah. It's just the open and close, the high and low, I'm fine. So that one lost. That one broke even. All right. Really could have re-entered here. I just was too early with it coming off of here. So I was just going through just now when I kind of got quiet and my screen got bright. I was just going through my back test data or whatever, and just to make sure, because with me making certain changes, sometimes I don't know if certain things that were important before are still important. So that's why I just went ahead and risked this particular trade, taking the buy going back towards the previous close. Because like I said, for me, that's a resistance level. I know people trade it differently. And then the current open or the previous open, yesterday's open, are both support levels for me. So, yeah, I didn't know if with the changes that I made, because I basically this week, I think, or maybe last week is when I started to kind of be more focused on like volume based trading. And I didn't know if, with that being the focus now, if certain things matter like this. But clearly it does. I mean, it ended up losing and coming back, and had I got into the re-entry, I would have been fine. But the re-entry was a 1 bar pullback, so that's why I didn't trade that. But now I know. It's all good. The reality is, I my goal is to pass my first eval by the end of this month. Um which I think I could do, especially if, you know, these accounts get some start overs. I think I'll be fine. I don't want to purposely blow them or anything, except, when they're the day before a renewal. But that's my goal. So really in my head, as long as I kind of have like my last tweaks and everything and I can kind of stabilize everything really by the end of next week, I think I'll be okay. So that's just something that I know I still have to do. Typically I could still trade opposite going towards the prior high and low and be fine. So like if the previous if I could take a sell going back towards the previous low or a buy going back to the previous high. I probably will still take it out of my trading just to be sure. But for sure, the open and close are definitely important. The high and low, not so much, which is weird because you would think that it's the opposite. So we'll see. And then I did decide that I'm not going to start doing the daily updates until next week. Just because I'm somebody who likes to, I don't like starting something in the middle of the week. I don't know. It's probably part of my slight OCD or something. I don't know. There's certain things that just bother me, and that would bother me starting it in the middle of the week. So I'll just start it next Monday. And we'll be good to go from there. It's crazy how we ended up, as soon as we got out of the consolidation zone I drew here, we literally just been moving and grooving ever since. $15.52. We might go from VWAP to VWAP. From there all the way up. Thinking of doing a new referral program with 2 options. 10% of the referred person's profit for the first 3 months billed, or 500 once the referred person accumulates 5K in profit. Testing a new agency. I forgot what I messaged this person. Okay, finally we got some movement here. I highly doubt I'll be able to get into the buy because that was a lot of volume that was needed to push down from the VWAP. And we're approaching the session high up here too at 86.75. Does it show? Okay, it does. Making a purchase of 2K for inventory and should see the results in a month. And it kind of work together. Facebook and TikTok. The other agency for Amazon, eBay, and maybe Shopify. This 10 to 11 market puts me to sleep. Is that 39.70? Okay. Do you want to close or not? If it gets down to 70, I won't be able to get into the buy, but it has to continue stalling here for a bit to kind of overtake the volume that was needed to push down for the VWAP. I need like 1,000 more volume here. So we'll see what happens. Looks like it wants to push down. Still waiting on more. VWAP line is starting to curve up a little bit. I'm getting away from the current price. Are you gonna push up right here? I'm not ready yet. Alright, so I'll get into the buy now at 80.50 and we'll see what happens. As long as it doesn't push down to 70, I'll stay in with the pending order for the buy. All right, now it's cold. There's so much volume sitting here. When did this bar close? Like from here to there. From my crosshair over to where we are right now, it's like 4,500 in volume just sitting right here at this level. That's what this looks like. All right, so that account's finally blown. Take that off. That'll renew tomorrow. All right, and that account should be blown as well. All right, cool. That one renews Tuesday. What account is that? That's 18, I think. Yeah. 18? Yeah, 18 and 22. All right, so the 2 renewals that's coming up in the next week are gone. So those will refresh for free. Shoot, let me check Rhythmic to make sure, because in this little stupid app, not Rhythmic. Okay, I wanted to make sure they were both in admin only mode, and they are. Cool. Works for me. I don't want to have to pay attention to that, but I might have to. Where's my... think I had those yesterday. Let me go back and look real quick. All right, so those are gonna be fresh off the press. I'm just going and scrolling back real quick. I wanted to see something. Nine 12. I did write that one. $59. Maybe the only time that matters is with those. Probably. Come back and see what the market's doing. So typically I don't I stop getting out of my trades when like the volume on the zigzag changes while I'm in the trade. But I think that I actually have to, if it's a pullback to my minor level, I think I still have to get out of it. But I think that's the only one that I will have to. We'll see. I have them all the times that it happened. I have it written on my chart. So because you can't see it in the back test, you can only see it in real time. So like that particular trade right there, the volume immediately changed. Even though it was all of that volume to push back up, it like legit immediately changed to seller pressure. And typically like I said, I don't get out anymore. I used to. But I think that I'm going to need to still get out when it's my minor trend, but we'll see. All right, my levels are out of order again. Starting like here. So there. No, starting there. didn't get into that one. 907, so take profit. Open bow. So 2, 3, 1, 0. Just this week alone, and then all right. Looks like we're probably going to consolidate here until the end of my session. I hope not, but that's what it looks like. I don't even think. Well, that one's gone. Which that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. What is the low of that? 55? All right, let me go back to what I was doing. Still gonna trade if I see setups, but I highly doubt that I will. Gonna say, did I not trade the Friday? So I think it's just those that I have to look at. I was gonna say, what am I looking to do? How do those look like that? Okay. Then I want that. All right, 12, 19, and 02. One mini is too much for me, so I usually trade 3 or 4 micros for 10 to 20 points. I go on tilt with minis. I feel you. I definitely feel you. What is your typical stop loss and take profit? For me, the only reason why I trade minis is because so my stop loss has been 22 ticks. It was supposed to be 24. That's what I realized yesterday when I was back testing. So this is what happened. When I was back testing, I used to trade on Rincos with a 16 and 2 setting. I changed back to 20 and 2. I started the year off with 20 and 2 and I switched to 16 and 2 months and months ago. So I switched back probably maybe a month ago or so. I don't remember. So in doing that, that's one of the reasons why I don't have the Rincos on my chart and I just keep a time-based chart is because I might change the Rinco chart again. I don't know. But when I was back testing it, I miss? Oh no, I didn't. I was back testing with basically my stop loss was 3 ticks above the open of the reversal bar that I'm getting into, right? Well, so that would be 23 ticks because the bar size is 20. You add the 3, now you have 23. So what ended up happening, and I don't know how I did this because I am a mathematician, okay? I don't know what got into my head at this moment. But essentially, when I went to change my stop loss, because I went from a 16 tick bar to a 20 tick bar, my entry is not at the close of the bar. My entry is one tick past wherever the bar closed. And the reason why I did that is because a lot of times, especially in the beginning of the session, there is no drawdown for real to come back and hit your entry. Like a lot of times it just takes off. And I got tired of missing out on entries when that happened. So I said, okay, well, I'm cool with losing a tick off of my profit if I'm getting into the trades that I'm supposed to get into and I'm not missing those trades. So with me getting in one tick beyond the close of the bar, for whatever dumb reason, instead of me adding one tick to the stop loss because I'm further into the trend, I subtracted a tick. Who does that? So that's why my stop loss was like all off. And so with my stop loss being, if it gets hit, I lose $124. In my head, with a trailing drawdown of 2,500 or even 1,500, with a trailing drawdown of 1,500, I would have to lose 10 times in a row, really a little bit over 10 times in a row in order for me to lose the account. Now, of course, that's if it was static, and we know that it moves, and that's absolutely fine. But just the principal part of that part. Also, I know that when my strategy is where I need and want it to be, I shouldn't be like, when you're scalping to me, right? If you're hitting your trailing drawdown, that just means that your strategy isn't where it needs to be, because it's not like your intraday swinging where, hey, I'm up $500, but by the time I close the trade, I'm only up $200. So I lost $300 in drawdown. That's not how it happens when you are scalping, right? So because of that, I know that if I can keep my win-loss ratio where it needs to be, even with today not being a great day, Monday and Tuesday, I should have been up a total of $1,900. Okay. And actually more than that, because there was a couple of losses in there with the divergence that I realized with my divergence, it needs to be a lower low, lower high, lower low for a buy, and, a higher high, higher low, higher high for a sell. Well, there were times where that point B of the swing was kind of the opposite. So it would be like a lower low, higher low to a lower low. And those trades lose a lot. I didn't pay attention to that. But either way, so if I have a losing day, but my overall for the week is, I always look at where I'm supposed to be, not where I actually am, because I know that I'm still fixing things and I'm still making tweaks and things like that. So I just always keep in the back of my head, once I have things where it's supposed to be, and if I'm taking the trades that I'm supposed to, and if I take out the losses that aren't supposed to be there, because now I realize, hey, this is a new rule that I need to pay attention to and things like that. That's what I pay most attention to. So I don't think a mini is too much for that particular scenario because of that. This is going to lose as well. And even then, it is what it is. But yeah, so for me, especially with the number of trades that I take per day, micros will really screw me on the commissions big time. 20 points, so 80 ticks. 20 points. See, for me, well, 10 points is 4. So I guess that is considered a scalp on the Nasdaq. But I feel like if you're going for 10 points, it's kind of a scalp, but kind of not. But it kind of is, because it's the Nasdaq. You know what I mean? But with you having such a wide stop loss, that makes sense. Because if you were on a mini, then you're risking $200 something per, like $250 per trade. So that makes sense. And, as much as people say that, you can't trade with a tight stop loss on the Nasdaq and all these other things, I don't believe that. I truly don't believe that. I believe you can. And once my strategy is where I need it to be, I'm going to show people that you can. You really can. This just hit the VWAP and just came right on down. Um, but yeah, it's a work in progress. It's ooh, my that kind of doesn't matter. Let me see. I have like $40 left on the other two $25,000 accounts. Let's see if I was just a little too early on that last one. Or if it does just want to continue down, because that's it could be. My last level of the uptrend is at 28. All right, so that account blew and that one did as well. So now I'm just working off the $150,000 account. And that's cool. That's why when you're in the process of figuring things out, you just cycle the same evals. Don't click reset. Don't do any of that. Figure it out. I can get into that sale. And we'll just see what happens. It's not, I mean, I'm literally not doing anything different than I would normally do. I just really hate trading from 10 to 11, if I'm being honest, but I can't neglect the fact that like some days are just going to be trash, but overall it shouldn't be. Mm. The only thing I didn't like about that particular buy is the volume of that swing up and the swing down are equal. That's the only reason why that one might not have been the best trade to take. But yeah, for me, I just don't want to get frustrated with the process, which it can be frustrating sometimes. I'm not going to lie. It absolutely can, especially when you feel like, okay, I'm turning the corner, and then the following week it's like, oh no, go back around the corner, you're not ready yet. That can be super annoying, but for me it's like I am being patient and just understanding that it takes time to get where you want to be, especially when you're creating things from scratch. You're not taking somebody else's strategy and tweaking it to be your own or anything like that. Like I legit built this from scratch. Um so I expect for it to take time. Everyone I personally know who is successful trading, it took them time to get the strategy where they want it to be. And I just have to stay the course. That's it. And even with today being trash, I still feel really good about the strategy. I can't win them all, you know? You can't win them all. It changed into a downtrend after it pierced this level. I do think possibly starting tomorrow, I might maybe tomorrow's stream I'll put my Rinkos on this charts. So you guys can kind of see more of how I see things, because I don't see things how they look here. But again, most people don't trade Rinkos, so I try to put on the screen what other people would be trading. But I'll do that so that you guys can kind of see. I wanted to look at, oh, that's what I wanted to do. So I think also, was it 4 minutes left? I feel really relieved that I don't have to bring those 25Ks back. As much as I didn't want to blow, what is that? These two. Like, I know that by the time they renew, I'm going to have things where I want it to be, and I should be able to pass them within the first week of me trading them. But they're not going to come back until the first one will come back on the week of the 15th, and then the 22nd, and then the 29th. So those will be gone for a while. So you'll only see me trading this $50,000 account tomorrow. Well, really for the next week. I'll only be trading the one account. 1, 2, 3, yeah. And I could, now that I feel a little bit more comfortable with my strategy, I could stop waiting the full week before I start using that particular account, but I don't know. We'll see. We will see. So on this account, I still have like $1,200, $1,300 in drawdown. So I got a little room with that one. The only thing that sucks is because I did not purposely blow that one, I just got it back to the trail and drawdown. Now that one started a week early. So like typically I wouldn't have even started trading that one until Monday. So I would be going into Monday with, less than the full drawdown. Whereas if I would have just purposely blown it, then I would be starting Monday fresh with that one. So I got to kind of figure out if I want to continue doing what I did with this one, where I didn't purposely blow it while I was trying to, but then it got back to the full balance and the trail and drawdown got to the full drawdown. So I don't know. I'll see. But the session is pretty much over. My alarm is about to go off. Since I'm not doing a daily recap, I guess I'll just say it here. The last 4 accounts are blown. This one's cool. And there's a couple of losses in there where I know one for sure that's not a setup, that I'll be paying more attention to that particular setup. But all the other ones I think were fine. Like I said, I don't really know until I go and I back test, because once I back test, that's when Not back test. When I go and write my trades down in my journal, that's when I pay a little bit more attention. I'm paying attention while I'm trading, don't get me wrong. But sometimes you just miss things when the market is moving fast or you're paying attention to different things or whatever, which I do get distracted. I can't sit here for 2.5 hours looking at the same thing. I can't. So I might get on my phone and things like that. But overall, I still feel good about the strategy. Like I said, I should actually be up for the week, even despite a losing day today. So what I'm hoping is that we have a good session tomorrow, and because I don't feel like I need to back test anything else, and I'm not testing anything else for now. I want to stick to what I have right now and keep it there and see what happens over at least the next week. I don't want to make really any changes for another week, because sometimes when you're changing and changing and changing, you kind of like lose sight of everything, and then sometimes you just change stuff to the point where you're keeping yourself out of too many wins and keeping yourself in too many losses and things like that. So yeah, hopefully you guys had a good trading session. If not, hopefully you bounce back tomorrow with me, and if you're continuing to trade, I wish you luck in the rest of your session, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.